and I've got my speech prepared, all my jokes. I hope it goes down well. But no, it's great to be here. I mean, there's like people lining up around the corner, and it's going to be fabulous. Well, Fantasia has now got a great reputation as a cutting-edge festival. I'm already beginning to feel this maybe will become my favourite little festival, but little big festival.
Here, mastermind, seating impresario.
Welcome to Perfect Creature, and you are the first people in Canada to ever see this movie. Not only is this a vampire movie, it's a revisionist vampire movie. Here's the director, Standring, and the producer, Tim Sanders.
I've got to start by saying how wonderful it is to be here. The city's just fantastic, and this festival is really amazing. It's globally recognised, and so we're privileged to be here, and thank you very much for having us. The other thrill I've got, of course, tonight is to say we're on the same stage as the legendary Daniel Walters. That's amazing for us. Have a perception that New Zealand is doing fairly well in the movie business at the moment, and we feel we are too, but it's something that may not always last forever. Kingway mentioned the sort of films that I've been working with, and they're all very different in their own way, but they've all reached their kind of level of success, and that's something we're hoping for Perfect Creature to achieve tonight. As you said, you're the first official audience to see it, so give us your best, won't you?
Thank you very much for a while wondering what directly you were talking about. I guess that was me. Tim, as you know, is probably one of the top producers in our country. So I've been very lucky to work with him on this film. So thank you, Tim. It's great to be in Montreal. It's great to be actually in a North American city where people speak French and the architecture is continental rather than everything being strip malls. So I really appreciate being here. So, this movie had a kind of a strange gestation, and it kind of came from me thinking about the whole idea of the vampire myth and whether it maybe historically it came from a real event. So I just let my imagination kind of play and thought, well, what if these strange but beautiful babies 300 years ago started being born into the world that suckled, not milk but blood? And what would the people, kind of do in reaction to that? And I decided, of course, that they would think they were divine, that they'd been sent by God, that maybe they were proof of God's existence. So that kind of is the basis of the world for the film, where you've got this giant religion formed around these wonderful, perfect kind of children. But where our film kind of takes place 300 years later, one of these kind of perfect beings is now begun to prey on human beings. So that's where the tension of the film kind of comes from. One of the things I love about genre films that I really love is not only do you get all the great things, I guess, like slaves and blood and action scenes and fighting and kind of world building and fantasy, but you get the chance to sometimes build worlds that reflect back on our own times, the times in which we're living in now. And one of the major thematics in Perfect Creature is this notion that you've got a great institution, which is the Brotherhood, this great religion, that was formed from, you know, very noble ideals, that, because it's become powerful, it's become completely, or slowly but surely corrupted. And that's kind of, I think, if you look in the world today, you can see that in, you know, mass religion, corporations, and, you know, now especially city-states. So I won't ramble on anymore, but I hope you enjoy this film. It represents a lot of work by us, but I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. And I think, you know, all of those are pretty good inspirations for me.
That town that you see on there is the one we live in, but it doesn't actually look anything like that. You know, I think we're kind of used to seeing, you know, Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver in different lights as well from time to time.
By going back into the history of it, we're going, look, okay, well, if they were finding these babies, and then, you know, and in essence, you had modernism never happened, because all these people saw evidence of God. You know, here were these perfect children who'd been born on the world, so everyone believed in God, so science and religion never split. So my kind of thinking was, you never had modernism. You had a kind of a super Victorian industrial age that just kept going. So that's kind of what that is. It's kind of like an advanced Victorian, we call it retro-futuristic.
Saffron is a genuinely fantastic actress and a fantastic person too, it has to be said. And you know, one of the great things about the show is everyone ended up friends at the end of it, which doesn't often happen. And we hope to see her next week in LA. And you're right, you know, it has been picked up on by people who've seen the film that it's a proper lead for a woman, and she carried it out beautifully, we think too.
Cheese. Voila.
All right. Enjoyed it.
Great
I thought it was original.
Thanks, Carl. Thank you. Thanks, mate. Very much indeed. Thanks for coming. I'm sure. Okay.
Very good job.
Thank you.
Takes a dreamer, it takes a doer. And
well,
I really
that's right.
I really like the feeling that it all conveyed. So good
Oh,
job.
great.
Thanks very much. That's great.
You guys want
Dreaming and doing.
for making
That's what we do.
Yeah. Thank you.
How kind of you.
You watch them and you're always disappointed.
Oh,
This
thank
one
you.
did not disappoint.
Oh, great. Thank you very much indeed.